I'm the creator of Waverly Knots, and today we're doing a do-it-yourself tutorial on a macrame plant hanger. And this is what it's gonna look like. I totally forgot the plant, so you can just look at how big this pot is. And so next we're gonna start talking about the materials in your box, and let's get started. Okay, so in your box, you have 100 feet of 3-strand twisted rope, and this size is 4 millimeter. You also have an S-hook to work off of, and then you have a wooden ring, and then you have an instruction card on where to go, and a thank you card. And this is what your box will look like. So before you get started, make sure you have all of these things, and I'll let you know what to do next. Okay, so I just showed you the materials, and so you're gonna take your S-hook, and you're gonna make sure you have something to work off of. I have a rack, it's from IKEA, it's only 12 bucks. So take your S-hook, put it on there. Then you're gonna take the wooden ring in your box, put it on there. And then with that 100 feet of rope, I cut them up into 6 pieces that are 14 to 15 feet long. So I have it right here, and you're gonna fold it in half. Make sure they're even at the bottom, like that. And we're gonna stick it through the ring. And then when you do that, kind of even it out here so that they're not all tangled together. And then we're gonna do our first square knot. Okay, so for the square knot, we're gonna do this around all of the rope. So you're gonna take the 2 from the back, the 2 outer cords from the back. These are called your working cords. You can take the left one first. You're gonna go over all of the pieces of rope. Take the right one, put it over that one, and then push it behind and through the loop. That's the first part of your left facing square knot. The second part is to do the same exact thing but with the right piece. So take your right piece, go over all of the rope, left piece goes on top of that, behind, pull it through the loop. So that is a square knot. So now, because we cut 6 pieces of rope and then we fold it in half and put it through the loop, we have 12 pieces here. So we're gonna take one group with 4 pieces, which gives us 3 groups. So we're gonna work with these individually. So let's do 2 square knots with each of these. So I'm gonna start you off. Left over the 2, right over this one, behind and through the loop. And you want to make sure the 4 that you choose are right next to each other. So do the same thing on the other side. Take your right piece, fold it over, behind, through the loop. So now I'm just going to go in real time. You can kind of watch me. I'm going to do 2 with each group of 4. So I have 2 square knots, and you know that because you have 2 vertical lines here. So 1, 2. I'm gonna move on to the next group of 4. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the last one. And if you feel like you're getting twisted, just turn it over. By doing the square knots here, you secure all the rope in place. And now we can start our design. Okay, so now we're moving on to the design. So we have 3 groups with 4 pieces of rope. I'm gonna take one group, I'm gonna go about a hand's length down, and I'm gonna do the spiral. So this one, you're gonna take the left over the 2 inner cords, right on top of that, behind and through the loop. And instead of doing the other side, you're just gonna keep going with that. Left over the 2 inner cords, behind and through. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. And you can twist with the cord as long as you're always taking the left piece. And then as you can see, the spiral started. And when I end the spiral, I want to make sure it's flush with this one. So this looks pretty flush. And now I'm going to show you the switch knot. So now you're going to take your outer cords, switch them with the inner cords, and we're going to do the spiral again. You can make your spiral as long as you want. I'm just going to show you this a little bit shorter, but you can go around one more time. You have enough rope to do that. Just remember, when you do the spiral, your outer cords will get shorter because you're doing a lot of knotting with it. But that's why we do the switch knot too, so that we switch the cords and you have more room to work with. So I'm just going to show you this part, and then you'll just move on to do the same exact thing with the next group of 4, and just kind of eyeball how even it is. Okay, so once you've finished your design for each of these, we're going to start connecting them for the cradle for the pot. So you're going to take one group, take 2 from one group, go to the next one, take 2 from the next group, ones that are right next to each other. You're going to go a hand's length down, and you're going to do a square knot. So the square knot is what we did up here. So that's where you did the left over the 2 inner cords, the right piece on top of that, behind and through. And do the same thing with the right. So we've connected these 2. Now we're going to move on to the next 2, and then grab the next 2 from the other group and do a square knot there. And then I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to do another square knot with the last 4 remaining pieces of cord. So we're going to do that again. We're going to take 2 from this group, 2 from the group right next to it, and we're going to make it just a little bit shorter. I'm going to do it about right there. And I like to do, I think I'm going to do about 3 square knots, or 2. Let's just do 2 for right now. And then move on to the next group. So we're connecting them again. And just kind of eyeball to make sure that they're even with each other. And then one more time. Okay, so now we're going to do it one more time. We're going to do it even closer. So 2 from this group and 2 from this group. And then the last 4. And at this point, this is where you want to test your pot. this pot's pretty big, so. And if it doesn't fit, you can go ahead and adjust, but I like the way this looks. So I'm gonna keep it like this. So I'm gonna take the 2 longest cords here on opposite sides. They're all pretty long, so I'm just gonna take the 2 on opposite sides. And I'm gonna do a square knot around the whole thing. I'm gonna do 2 square knots. And then after this, the last thing to do would be to trim the bottom. Okay, and the last thing you'd want to do is to trim your tail. So I'm just gonna go right here. I'm gonna do pretty short today. You can either leave it like this, or you can open up these cords and fringe it out a little bit. But you don't have to. They're eventually gonna fray out anyway.